Hey there, Bearcat fans, and thanks for tuning in to the Bearcat Sports Report. I'm Austin LeJess. Hit the ground running hard with women's soccer, who opened up GLVC play this past weekend. They were at McKendree University, where the Bearcats fell 3-0. All three goals came in the first half, as the Bearcats couldn't get anything going offensively in the second half. In goal was Anna Sassman, who collected 6 saves in the 90-minute contest. On Sunday, the Bearcats headed over to University of Missouri St. Louis, where they took on the Tritons. The Bearcats fell by a defeat of 1-0 in that one. The Bearcats' closest chance came from Cassie Kiping in the 76th minute when her shot was just off the crossbar. For the Bearcats in goal was Sassman, who collected 5 saves. The Bearcats are now 1-4 overall and 0-2 in GLVC play. On the men's side of things, they also were at Maryville on Friday. They were the opposite of the women's outcome, a 1-0 win for the Bearcats thanks to Colin Cadell. Cadell had a putback in the 55th minute to give the Bearcats the win. Scott Armistead, the sophomore in goal, picked up his first win of the season while collecting 4 saves. On Sunday, the Tritons for UMSL had dished 2 shots on goal, but that was enough to defeat the Bearcats 1-0 in goal. Scott Armistead just had a lone save as he moves to 1-1-1 on the season. The Bearcats now 1-2 overall and 1-1 in Great Lakes Valley Conference play. The men and women are headed back home for a Friday contest against Truman State. That'll take place with the women at 5 and the men to follow. And then on Sunday, they welcome the Hawks from Quincy University. Women will start at noon and the men to follow. Catch those broadcasts. I'll have the call on the Bearcat Sports Network. Out on the gridiron, where McKendree football headed on the road to Ohio this past weekend, where they took on the Oilers from University of Findlay. The Bearcats took a 37-28 defeat, but when they almost overcome a first-half deficit, the Bearcats trailed 20-0 with 8 minutes left to go in the first. A quick score before halftime and 2 scores quickly in the third period helped out the Bearcats as they pulled within 2 by a score of 30-28, all thanks to the defense, who only allowed a field goal in the third quarter. Junior quarterback Isaac Fisher went 21 for 41 passing for 219 yards. He had 3 of those coming for touchdowns, whereas favored target of Dwayne Gotti, who had 7 receptions for 165 yards and 2 touchdowns late in that second half. On the defensive side of things, it was A.J. Wentland and Alec Curtis who had 11 tackles. Helping them out was Harrison Skokos with 9 and Jabari Winston with 8. We got a chance to sit down earlier in the week with head coach Mike Babcock to talk about his team's excellent performance on Saturday. We're here with head coach Mike Babcock from the football team. Coach, you guys have started out 0-2, but really a good effort in the loss against Findlay from your offense. Down early and then 3 touchdowns late in that second half by the junior quarterback Isaac Fisher. How are you with your team's effort on Saturday despite the loss?
I really felt our team battled, and that was the biggest, or one of the moralist victories that we can take away from this game. I think once the team got down 20-0, almost all the way into the first half, it could have easily gone the other way and snowballed out of control, but we came up with a quick score right before halftime, was able to stop them a little bit on defense and be able to score some touchdowns in the third quarter and fourth quarter. And so very excited to see both sides of the ball battling all the way to the end and really giving up a great fight.
You know, offensively, we started to see that spurt, a little bit of a slow start in that first quarter. Like you said, a touchdown before halftime, another one after half. Isaac Fisher found Wayne Gotti a couple times in that second half. Gotti ended up with 7 receptions. Talk to us a little bit how that offensive explosion happened after halftime.
Well, we started seeing pretty much the entire game was all man-to-man coverage, press man-to-man coverage, and it really became the quarterbacks throwing a great ball and the receivers coming up with plays. There wasn't any special play call or anything like that. It was really finally the quarterbacks and receivers saying, you know what, we need to come up and make some great plays. And watching the tape and being at the game, Dwayne Gotti made some spectacular catches versus man-to-man pressure. And we kept throwing to him, and they kept press manning even though he kept making plays. And as long as they were going to still play man-to-man, we're going to still try to take advantage of that and go up top. Even Tyler Brewer had a great touchdown catch late in the third quarter. And so it was, an all-around good effort. Later on in the game, we just have to capitalize on that at the beginning.
and you say capitalize on the beginning. The defense struggled a bit at the beginning, but then we saw in the third quarter really didn't give up much. A nice job. You had a couple defensive players in double digits on the tackle side of things. Talk to us about your defensive adjustments.
Just before halftime, the defense really started coming together, really kind of coming together as a unit, and you could feel that confidence building in towards halftime, that the defense felt like, you know what, we can stop these guys. We just built on that confidence as we went out into the third quarter. Didn't really even score a touchdown in the third quarter, only a field goal. So it was really our quarter, that third quarter. Some guys really stepped up to the plate. A.J. Wentland and Alec Gertis had spectacular games, stepping in for the injured Bryce Colvin, who was out for the entire game. So I think both of those guys did a tremendous job in the game, and it gave our defense confidence to know that they can stop them when they need to. But the great thing about it is it also gives the offense confidence that the defense can stop them. So the offense built on that and was able to make some plays and score some points.
Your team built that, like you said, building that confidence. Now you head into your last non-conference game against Northwood University. How are you preparing for this last non-conference portion of your schedule?
We really take each game, one by one. We're not worried that, hey, it's just a non-conference game. I mean, we're looking at it as, hey, we want to beat Northwood University, and we're going to do whatever it takes to beat them. Northwood is a very good opponent. They're from the GLIAC, and which Ferris State and Findlay are members as well. So this is going to be a tough battle, and our players know this, and they know that we decided to take the route of let's play a tough schedule to get us ready for conference and to be able to say, hey, if we want to be the big dog, we have to play with the big dogs. So that's kind of the route we were going.
And playing with these big dogs, the three teams out of the GLIAC, you see the progression your team has made by playing some of these tougher teams to get ready for Great Lakes Valley Conference play, as you also have a tough schedule in that portion of the conference.
I think it does. I think if we're able to step back from it and say, okay, what mistakes did we make? What could we have gotten better at? And to really take it and move forward with it from game 1 to game 2, game 2 to game 3, that's where I think you see the most progress. And I think the guys are buying into that it's not just an overnight success of being able to go out this year and just go 11-0. It's really taking each game at a time and being able to progress and get better as the year goes on. And, after this week, obviously starting the GOVC play and playing the top 3 teams from last year with St. Joe, then Truman State, then Indianapolis. This is a tough run that we're going to have, and like I said, we just got to keep it one game at a time.
Coach, thanks for being with us. Good luck this Saturday as they head to Midland, Michigan to take on Northwood University, and then we'll return home for Great Lakes Valley Conference opener against St. Joseph. That's head coach Mike Babcock. Thanks, Coach, for sitting down with us.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Special thanks to head coach Mike Babcock as he took time out of his busy day to sit down with us. The Bearcats, who fall to 0-2, will head on the road to Midland, Michigan this weekend to take on Northwood University in their final non-conference game of the season. Kickoff is slated for 1 p.m. Eastern at 12 Central noontime. Tune into the Bearcat Sports Network, where Scott Cummings will have the call for you. Headed to the Harry M. Statham Sports Center on the Hardwood, where volleyball has been in action on the road. They started out GLVC play at Maryville this past Saturday as they opened up. The Bearcats took a 4-set win over at Maryville, led by Lauren Apetz and Sophie Fairman. Both netted at the net, had 11 kills, with Sophie Fairman adding 8 blocks. Senior Abby Hanger added a 30 assists in the win. On Sunday, the Bearcats were still on the road at University of Missouri St. Louis. Despite being close in all 3 sets, the Bearcats fell in all 3 with a 3-0 loss. An explosive performance came from the junior outside hitter Hannah Wessel, who put up a match-high 15 kills. Abby Hanger added a match-high 26 assists. And in the back row, the defensive specialist of Ashley Schmidt rounded out the leaders with a total of 17 digs. Bearcats 4-2 overall, 1-1 in Great Lakes Valley Conference play. They'll head home here to the Statham Center this weekend, where on Friday they will have a match starting at 4 o'clock. They will take on Quincy. And Saturday will take on Truman State at 11 a.m. And then round out the night with West Texas A&M. That'll be at 6:30. You can catch all those games broadcasted on the Bearcat Sports Network. Outside, men's and women's cross country have had strong starts already. On the men's side of things, this past weekend at the SIUE Cross Country Challenge, the Bearcats placed second. Leading the way for the Bearcats was the sophomore Dylan Hartley, who ran the 8-kilometer course in a time of 27:04. That was good enough for ninth in the field. William McLemore took 11th, with Ben Richter, just behind him in 13th. Moses Randich crossed the finish line in 15th place for the Bearcats, with Christopher Jackson just behind him as he rounded out the Bearcats with a 21st place finish. Congratulations to the men on their second place finish. In Kentucky this past weekend, bass fishing was in full swing. A third place finish for the Bearcats qualified them for the 2015 FLW College Fishing National Championship in their first year of eligibility. The senior duo of Philip Dermaglotti and Dustin Pendergraph weighed in their two-day total at 26 pounds and 6 ounces, so congratulations to those men on their qualification for the national championship. The Bearcats are set to host their own Fall Invitational on September 27th. That'll take place out at Carlisle Lake. Outside, men's and women's cross country have been in full swing and have done a terrific job so far in their two meets. This past weekend, the men placed second at the SIUE Cross Country Invitational. Sophomore Dylan Hartley ran the 8-kilometer course in a time of 27:04. He led the Bearcats with a 9th place finish. William McLemore took an 11th place finish, with Ben Richter just behind him in 13th. Moses Randich finished with 15th place, with Christopher Jackson rounding out the Bearcat top finishers in 21st. The women did just as well as the men with a 2nd place finish. The women fell just 9 points shy of first, but were led by the senior Hannah Einyard, who won the challenge. She ran the 5-kilometer race by a time of 18:59. Right behind her in the runner-up position was the freshman Karen Paisley, who ran a time of 19:11. And rounding out the top 10 was the senior Christine Cunningham, who had a time of 20 minutes right on the dot. We sat down with the head coach, Mike Mendez, to talk about his team's success this past weekend. We're here with head coach Mike Mendez of the men and women's cross-country team. Coach, thanks for taking time. Obviously a busy day for you as the season is underway. Your teams have really made a quick mark this season, a 3rd place finish for both the men and women a couple weekends ago in Evansville, and now a 2nd place finish this past weekend over at SIUE.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. They've been smaller meets, so that tends to help as well. But I think we've got a really young squad. I think we've got, of our top 7 on the men's side, we've got somewhere around 4 freshmen and 3 sophomores. We're just really young, and I think it's been a good opportunity for them to see some great competition. SIUE men were very, very good. SIUE women brought it strong, and then obviously for our opener we were at Southern Indiana, and it doesn't get a whole lot better than that as far as those teams go. So I think it's been a good introduction. Hasn't been too overwhelming, but it's given us an opportunity to compete and see some of the courses, at least one course that is going to be very important for us later on in the season.
You talked about those young people that have come in, your freshmen and sophomores. Freshmen on the women's side, Karen Paisley, a 2nd place finish this past weekend, and a 5th place finish in Evansville. And on the men's side, you have Ben Richard, who had a 9th place finish a few weekends ago, did a nice job as well in SIUE. Talk about how those freshmen have really stepped up for your team and have had some nice runs these past couple weekends.
Yeah, they're freshmen, and they're excited, they're motivated, and one thing that we're very fortunate about is that they're very talented. And it's good to see them coming on the stage and certainly performing well. And the thing that's most exciting for me is that they've got a lot more coming. It's very early. Our training is this week's going to be very tough in training, and it will continue to be so. And I think my intentions and my hopes are to get a whole lot better. So I'm very excited what they're bringing. It's definitely the foundation for what's here, and we've had some great seniors over the past couple of years to set that tone. But now we've got the young groups and the young excitement to now continue to build and hopefully, championship programs in the future.
We talk about the freshmen and sophomores stepping up. Now you have a redshirt senior who didn't run it all last year, Hannah Einyard, did a nice job. Got a 1st place finish this past weekend. How fun has it been to see her come off that redshirt season and start to progress and get back in the swing of things?
Oh man, that has been one of the craziest experiences as a coach to see, and it's a great story, and I'd love to tell it one day, and I hope she does and shares that with people, or with friends, family, and certainly any athletes who ever have a struggle. What people don't know is that she didn't take a step for 4 months. She was basically on crutches, and it was just not a great experience for her. But she swam and she earned it, and she took her hits in the spring, and put in the work in the summer, and she's just having a great season so far, and we're off to just a good start, I think.
Obviously exciting for her and exciting for your team now. Now you get a little bit of a break. You guys don't, a little bit of action, not until October 4th when you guys will run again. So during this little break period, you could call it, how does your team get a little bit better and you start to prepare more for those bigger meets that are coming up in your schedule?
Yeah, we just work hard, and it's twice a day most days, and it's day in, day out. We try and mix things up, but right now we're we've had the introduction to training. Now things are going to get a little bit more progressive, and we're going to use these next 3 weeks as really kind of, I don't want to say break the body down, but now really begin to do the work that's going to help take us to that next level, hopefully. And so we will take advantage of the next 3 down weeks and put in some good work.
That's good. Thanks, Coach, for being with us. That's Mike Mendez, the head coach for men's and women's cross country. They've already made multiple success this year. The next meet will not be until October 4th, so we wish them the best of luck in their upcoming schedule, and thanks for being with us today, Coach.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Thanks to head coach Mike Mendez, who took time out of his busy day to sit down and talk with us. The men's and women's cross country team will take a little bit of a break, and we'll head back to action on October 4th when they head to Louisville, Kentucky to take place in the Greater Louisville Classic. Good luck and best of wishes to them. Head over to the tennis courts. Men's and women's tennis were in full action this past weekend as they start their fall portion of their schedule. The women's team went 2-0 with a 9-0 forfeit win over Kentucky Wesleyan College and a 6-3 win over Webster University. In the number one doubles, leading the Bearcats were Sammy Siegel and Janelle Fung. The women will take on Tiffin University next Monday at Kings Point Sports Club. That match will start at 4:30. On the men's side of things, they split, going 1-1. Saturday, it was a 6-3 loss to Washington University in St. Louis, while Sunday, they picked up an 8-1 win over Brescia University. Maximilian Illich and Alish Alvarez led the Bearcats in the number one doubles. The men's team will head to Indianapolis, Indiana this weekend, where they will take place in the ITA Regionals. We wish them all the best of luck. To the hockey rink, where hockey started their season in thrilling fashion. They split with St. Louis University. On Friday, the Bearcats picked up an overtime win by a score of 8-7. The freshman forward of Jacob Young put in that winning game goal in the first minute of the overtime period. 7 other Bearcats scored throughout that game. On Sunday, the Bearcats dropped a decision by the score of 6-3 against the Billikens. Senior Dylan Mayoff picked up a pair of goals, while senior Carlos Galvin triggered in a shorthanded goal. In net was sophomore Tony Salamoni, who recorded 28 saves. Gary Hinson's Bearcats open up their home play this Friday at the East Alton Ice Arena. They'll take on Indiana University on Friday, as face-off time is scheduled for 10:45 p.m., and then a 4 o'clock start time on Saturday. We wish them the best of luck in their home openers. Fencing, the newest sport into McKendree Athletics, made its debut back on September 6th and 7th at St. Louis University. It was Mary Harding who participated in all 3 disciplines, which include épée, foil, and saber. Harding took top honors in the women's bracket for the saber, while Tristan Quinton won the men's saber competition with Cameron Davis taking 3rd. Kenneth Odell captured a 5th place finish in the foil, with Andrew Tolbert having a 6th place finish in a pay competition. Congratulations to the fencing, who made their wonderful and successful debut. The fencing team will head to University of Illinois for the Point Fencing Club on Friday and at University of Iowa this Saturday. We wish them the best of luck in their 2 competitions to come. Out on the golf course, the men's golf team picked up a 4th place finish this past weekend at the University of Wisconsin Parkside Fall Invitational. Freshman Austin Carter led the way with a 5th overall finish by a score of 150. Kenai Sampson placed 14th, and Sam Waters helped out the Bearcats with a 16th place finish. The men return to action September 29th and 30th at the Midwest Regional, which will be hosted by Lewis University. On the women's side of things, back on September 4th and 5th, they captured a 3rd place tie at William Jewell College at the Fall Tune-Up. Sophomore Lexi Shoemaker captured a 9th place finish, while Molly Biroak and Haley Hadsall tied for 17th. The women will take a little bit of a break and return back on October 4th to the course at the University of Illinois Springfield Challenge, so we wish both the men's and women's golf team best of luck. That's all we have for you this week. Looking ahead to our weekend schedule for McKendree Athletics, football team will travel to Northwood University for a 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff time. Scott Cummings will have the call on the Bearcat Sports Network here at 12 Central. Visit mckbearcats.com to find that link. The men's and women's soccer team open up their 4-game homestand starting Friday with Truman State, and then Saturday against Quincy. Kickoff time on Friday. The women will be at 5, men to follow, and noon on Sunday. Women's volleyball will have 3 matches at home here at the Statham Sports Center. On Friday, they will start off at 4. On Saturday, 11 a.m. first serve time and 6:30 p.m. Hockey will open up at the East Alton Ice Arena on Friday with a 10:45 p.m. face-off time. 4 o'clock on Saturday. Best of luck to them against Indiana University. Fencing heads to University of Illinois and University of Iowa. We wish them the best of luck in their second competition of the season. And good luck to the men's tennis team at the ITA Regionals. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter at mckbearcats.com for all our live tweets of upcoming events and breaking news. Visit mckbearcats.com for the latest stories. And be our friend on Facebook at mckbearcats. For Scott Cummings, Eric Buck, and Paul Shirey, our producer and cameraman, I'm Austin LeJess saying have a great weekend and go Bearcats!